Hi there everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Living a Sustainable and Happy Lifestyle. Now this is video 7 now. Now from video 6, I did it quite late on in last week. I did it on I think Wednesday or Thursday, so today is now Monday the following week. So it's only been 4 days since I last did the previous video. But what I'm going to try and do from now onwards is do it every Monday. That's what my bet is. I'm going to try and do it at least anyway. But anyway, for this video, it's an update on a lot of little things really. But when I was looking at the central heating systems previously on the previous video, or it might be in the previous 2 videos, there's also another form of heating which is storage heaters, which basically it's a heating system which basically comes on overnight, and then during the day it goes off, but it has slates within the heater which basically give off a residual heat during the day. So it whacks out the full heat in the evening, and then the heated slates within the heating system give off a residual heating during the day as well. So that's another type of heating system, but I'm not sure whether that is the most efficient type of heating system, but there's that one. And then of course there is the hot water storage systems for water being heated by electricity as well. And that's the one which is the copper cylinder, which I've talked to before. But what I didn't tell you is that these copper cylinders are also covered in a foam which basically insulates it, or if they don't have a foam which insulates the copper cylinder, which is the hot water system, they have what they call a jacket, which is basically a thermal jacket, which basically ties up around the system itself, around the cylinder. So that's another one. Now, I'm also going to come into doing architecture design of buildings. Now, we did talk about the sun coming in during the winter, and come the summertime when the sun's higher, it doesn't come into the house because of the overhang of roofs of certain style architecture. Now, on the ideal situation with any building being built, the best would be for the building to be facing due south. Now, I know that it's not the perfect ideal situation depending on the side, whether the building's on the side of a hill and, various other geographical problems with a building being put depending on where the look or the best view for the property would be. But in the most energy efficient way of a building being built would have it south facing. So that would basically mean that when the sun's up and is out, you will get the sun coming from the east, rising in the east, setting in the west. So when your house is due south, you would get the sun for most of the day. Come the evening, then of course the sun goes down, and it's then at its lowest point. So you wouldn't really want to have a building facing north, because that would mean that the heat would be on the back of the building rather than the front of the building. But you'd also want to make sure that there's no hills in the way either. So that's the reason why there's always a geographical problem depending on where the building's being built. Now, with some old buildings, they don't have damp-proof crosses, which is the DPC. Now, if you haven't got a DPC, it's best to put a DPC into your building. But most modern buildings have DPCs anyway. Damp-proof course is basically to stop rising damp from the ground rising through the building. Because when you have damp rising through the building, it attracts mildew, damp, and a lot of moisture in the building. So DPC is good. Also with windows and doors, it's best, at a later date, if you only have single glazed windows and doors, best to upgrade to double glazing or even triple glazing for your windows and doors, because that keeps the heat in and stops the drafts, and whatever heat you got in the house doesn't escape. So that's double glazing and triple glazing windows and doors. And the other one is insulation. Now, there are companies out there who do cavity wall insulation, which basically it means a foam of jet foam is basically drilled into the side of the wall, and then it fills up the cavity wall with a foam insulation. So that's also another thing. Now, in the roof, in the attic, there's another form of insulation. There's some types which is like a wire wool type insulation. There's others which even use wool. There's other people even use shredded paper. I mean, there's all different types of insulation, but it's best to get your roof insulated as well to keep the heat and retain the heat within the building. Now, pretty much I think I've covered most of that. I've covered the DPCs, damp proof course. I've also covered triple and double glazing, and I've also covered insulation. Now, the next thing is, and this is what I had to do myself, is if you are able to do this, to get the moss removed off your roof, not with a jet wash or anything like that, but just basically get it brushed off with a long handled broom. If you're with a very long handled broom, you know, an extension arm long handled broom with a water system coming out the end, to basically brush down the moss off your roof, because it's always good to try and keep any moisture or dampness away from your roof. Now, the other thing is to do the guttering. Get the guttering cleared, because otherwise, if you don't get your guttering cleared, that will then at a later date encourage more dampness. And if the water's overflowing the guttering, it's going to hit the walls, then you're going to get damp, and you will get internal damp happening from gutters overflowing by not being cleared. So, you know, if you've got a man who basically a roofer, or if not a roofer, some window cleaners will do it. They would clean your windows, they would do your doors and your sills, they would do your fascias, they'd do the cladding. And of course, you know, if you can see if they can do your guttering and to clear the moss off your roof, because that is a very good thing. Because if there's anything damp around your building, it's going to make your building colder in the winter. So that's another thing to cover. Now, I am also at the stage where we have a population of the world over 7 billion people. Now, I know this will be very controversial to some of you and everything, but in this living world we're living in now, within the next 10, 15 years, the world population could be 10 billion people living in this world. So I think that if some of you out there are a bit more environmentally cautious and a bit more environmentally friendly and want to basically have a world for our kids, is to maybe reduce the amount of kids we have. Now, I know a lot of you will not like that. I think that if we were able, you know, to have a population where we didn't have more than 2 kids throughout the world per family, I think that that would stabilise our population, because our population is growing so fast, and our demand on our population is growing so fast, and our demand on the world and the earth is becoming so vast that there's more and more land which is needed for farming, but also more and more land which is needed for housing. So we've either got to do this, I've got to cut out the meat, or cut out as much meat as we possibly can by reducing it, or some people even becoming vegetarians or even becoming vegans. So, you know, whether you're eating any dairy products or whether you're going to eat any living seafood of any type, or if you're going to cut out everything, meat as well. So that would be cutting out meat, cutting out seafood, and cutting out dairy products. Now at the moment, I haven't done any of these yet. I eat meat now and then, not every day of the week, maybe once, twice a week I eat meat. But I've got to say, I do eat sliced chicken in my sandwiches. So to be honest, I probably eat meat every day. But as in a meat within a main meal in the evening, I probably only have meat, once, twice a week. But within a sandwich, I might have chicken roll. So this is the problem. We've now got to get to the point where farming methods are being used more for providing food for the animals, providing us food, rather than farming the land just to feed ourselves. So what's happening is like we got deforestation happening all over the world. And unfortunately enough, the people like myself, I've got to be a bit more cautious now, haven't I? I mean, I do eat meat, and I do eat dairy products, and I do eat fish, but I eat it in a very relative way. I don't eat it all the time. I maybe have a fish meal once a week, max. I maybe have a meat meal, maximum once a week. Now, within a sandwich, yeah, I have chicken slices probably like every day almost. But I also eat dairy products, and I am at the stage where sooner or later I will have to start thinking about what I'm eating as well. So that can be another video at a later date, talking about pescatarians, talking about vegetarians, and talking about going the full way, becoming vegan. But I haven't got myself set up for that yet, and I am not sure if I'm ready for that yet. But you know what? We've all got to just reduce the amount of fish we eat, reduce the amount of meat we eat, and reduce the amount of dairy products we eat, But this is like, at a later day, I'll do another video on that. Now, pretty much, we've done architect design, we've done the thing about world population, and we've also done the situation with storage heaters and hot water storage heating systems. And now, I think probably more than likely we will do a well-being video for the next video update. And pretty much I think that's it for this video. So thanks for listening. And as I say, this is coming up to a 15-minute one today because there were several things which I wanted to do. But I think next week I've got a subject which I'm pretty sure I will do next week. I won't let you know until it happens next week. But anyway, be nice to each other. Spread yourself with positive thoughts, positive affirmations, positive thinking, and being positive how we speak. And surround yourself with your loved ones, and surround yourself with good family, friends, and people who are good for you, and people who build you up, and people who praise you. Have a good week this week, and this is the end of video 7 for living a sustainable and happy lifestyle. Have a good week, Eve, and look after yourselves, and I will see you next week. Take care. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye. And also, can you please like and share my videos too? I haven't been saying that, but please like and share all my videos. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.